And good morning, folks. It's 10:06 a.m. on the 8th month, 16th day, 2025, and it's time to get your arcs ready. Yes, two by two, away they went, and away the evil goes from the world. And may beautiful, blessed water cleanse the toxic lands and attitudes of the people of Australia in the lands, because this is about to be one of those events. So we should thank water for its participation in our lives, but we should not be thankful of how it's being used here to grab land and cause really wicked problems. And it looks like about the main starting of the event, it'll be a big pocket of stuff coming from out of Queensland over in towards New South Wales. And that tropical air is gonna meet this terrific cold air down here that's being held off in the trough by a beam from Grafton that's only half on. I'll show you the shapes that are going to be expected from the radars that are going to make this event. But like I said, I find this quite upsetting to cover this, so you'll have to excuse me if I get emotional. And well, the lying about it from Wendy about some of these totals is not pleasing me either, because that's a quarter meter of water right there falling within about 3 days time. Right, this Tuesday, that's Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You know, it's I'm just making sure I got it all right in my head. So if in eyes, that would put this at. Oh, I'm trying to get the times. I gotta do my factors in my head of what time of day that would be. I don't put too much faith in that data there. Let's see. So Tuesday at 5 in the afternoon would be my time. Would put you guys at about 3 o'clock in the morning is when this is going to start. So coming Wednesday morning Australia time in New South Wales at sunrise time, you could be expecting the coastlines to be under a huge rain event. And then as you're heading inlands here, these mountain areas, you don't want to be camping out here. These are devastating amounts, and these rivers are all going to run toward very predictable areas. So those waterfalls are going to be quite dramatic. And I don't like to be the bearer of the bad news for the northern rivers, but they're showing too low a total, so you're going to start a little bit sooner. And so I had a few guys down for that's not enough. That's not high enough. It should be closer to 20 centimeters of rain coming towards the Tweeds River down here from various areas. But the problem with you guys is it's going to rain over here first, Kingscliff, and down this way down here, Fingal. So there's going to be harder for the water to go out. And so this down here in Coolangatta, where the water comes out, is going to have big problems. Because when the tide's coming in and there's nowhere for the water to come out, there's going to be some localized flooding. But yeah, Kara and beaches down here are going to be having some action surf-wise as well. But, you know, when you got a radar over here that's capable of making a beam that it's not going to make to hold the storm off, you can see that geoengineering is not going to be being used for good. And so I'm also expecting a lot of your radars to stop working when we need them most. And if I put those on now, it wouldn't matter as much. Now, I had a little bit different data than's being shown on this map right now. So I'm going to go to some of my data that I captured before I loaded screens to go live. It shows you that their pockets they're showing are much bigger. Like that there is closer to 20. This here is 20. I know these colors. So they're showing a huge swath in the trough that's being affected. And until I see the beams that are going to happen over the next 24 hours down over the tops of these areas, I'm not 100% sure exactly where these pockets are going. But I know you are about to get an absolute gully washer through here, and there is going to be flooding. Don't get hung out to dry. Make sure you got your medicines, your supply, your dog food, cat food, and the things you need for your sanity. Yeah, you're about to cop it, Yamba. Where's this water that's going to hit back here going to go once that hits there first? This is the problem with this event. Right? Big issues is going to be the runoff of the water that's going to go from somewhere else to your area. You know, what falls here is going to be affected by here. And they're not showing you how deep in the northern rivers this is going. And they're not being accurate. They're trying not to panic people. And I'm not either. I just want you to see what I see. That's a beam that went down the coast that exacerbated the, or should I say, helped induce an earthquake. I'm trying to find a picture I took for somebody else, so give me a moment. I have some totals that are not quite being accurate for you guys, that show just quick hits just of an area. I'm sorry about that. Let's do that again. Down, 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 deeper and down. Come on, open. Oh, come on, for fuck's sake. Okay, here we go. Now, the initial had it this way, right? That was just ECMF. But if I just do my tabulations, I saw a cell that came over here that's going to last about 7 hours, and it's going to dump just in that 7 hours alone about 13 centimeters plus. And I say plus because the inaccuracy of these models is just wrong. You go over here to ECMW, you're going to go fucking up. This is like the whole coastline. So it looks like they're going for the Bruce. And it's going to be very difficult times on some of these protest days that you're going to have in some of these areas. It looks like the Sydney Bridge should be clear enough for them to march the burkas across, or whatever you guys happen to be having going on that day. I don't know. I don't do racism well. Fuck, I hate to have to see this going on. I really do. I just want you guys to have a heads up and be okay. And I'm so tired of the geoengineering. If you see some of the lines here that are showing on SatView today, it's really mapped it out kind of well. And so I'll do that part now, and I'll get Mr. Squiggles out, and I'll show you why I say what I'm saying and why I'm disagreeing with Windy itself. First thing I'll do is this. Now you may notice when I have this in motion, unfortunately I can't mark it while it's in motion. That would be really cool. The mark in motion. Not all these are mountain ranges. Anybody familiar with the steps move? I mean, you got some big steps out here today. These were just some lines I had drawn earlier where moisture that comes out is going to tend like going down a fish ladder. You see these moves a lot to bring this moisture in to meet this top channel. It's coming down here. It seems almost all the moisture in here is being annihilated by radars back here. All those little gaps and spots you see right through here. Yeah, let me get that back here. I'll get some of the squiggles off so you can see what I'm talking about. I'll leave some of the basics in like that. But as I go in here, I see the shorts, because you got coughs and all that around here. See these gaps? Here's a flow channel right through there, and that's going to bring big stuff into this back area. This brings the dynamics of this cold southern ocean. You see this ladder move right here of chem? That forces things boom, 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 right into the back here. And what radar is doing this? I'm not sure yet, because most of your radars are showing very inaccurate things. See this here? It's only a half on radar. Scalar that direction, but it left this side weak. This is a weak side here, where that I just put is right there. So that's got a flow that's going to allow this in here. Oops, sorry about that. It's going to allow this through here. That's why I'm a bit concerned about the trough having some of those heavier totals that have not been predicted on any other map. But here, wide open to catch full-on flow. I'm very worried for northern rivers. Very concerned for like Woodenbong, Casino. I think Cuyahoga will be just on the western side of the heavier flows. Byron, the Shire, and Willem-Baden, in those areas, these forests that I love so much. You know, are about to be very, very much affected again, and I'm so sad to have to be the one to tell you about it. I think that should be BOM's responsibility. Higgins works for the BOM. Did they at least steal enough of my forecast to keep you accurate? Remember I told you about this 8 days ago? Well, it's happening. And you had an earthquake today. And I'm not really wanting to talk about that today because this is bothering me too much. The fires yesterday, earthquakes today. That beam I showed you earlier occurred 1 hour before air traffic control went and malfunctioned in New Zealand. And HARP was involved in some of the beaming that went on to exacerbate or help induce the EMF in the mantle, the vibrations that can induce an earthquake. That's deep rabbit hole stuff, but it goes back to the research of Nikola Tesla. Tesla's oscillator showed you can cause quakes anytime you wanted to. You know, he brought his building down. The police had to shut him down. He was rattling the block. That's fixed. Yeah, I wonder who got those patents and technologies in the missing boxes. You see these waveforms coming down the ocean? Yeah, there's big waveforms coming from HARP up in Alaska. Yeah, I did some determinants on it, so I could see it plain as day. Yeah, when I come up here, let me just load a freshie on that, and you'll see what they did. Hey, fuck it, I'll show you. I'll have to go back about 72 hours on global to show this whole event. You'll hit the start up here. And while he's doing that, I'm going to explain a few things. Yeah, where all the torus field of the Earth meets up here, right? Okay, at the pole. Well, if I electrify that link enough, where the tendrils of electrics and magnetics come in, then clumps of chem will hem up in those tendrils, or the Birkeland currents and Birkeland strands, as some people know them as well, and when they're linked to the sun. Now, if I whip that with enough energy, I can cause it to lay down across the planet. And I'm seeing beams come down all the way down. I'm watching Russian ones come up and down like that. I'm watching HARP fire right down here for 2 or 3 days. Right down the entire Pacific, manipulating the storm here, here, and here. While other facilities add EMF. Now they manipulated this through here, right? And that shack that hit New Zealand that I showed you here, right, if I go down to this one, where you see some of its dregs, or the electrolink with the sun has been lit up, you come out over here, you'll start to see a beam. It comes straight out across your coast like this. And it all centers on a point out here. And I didn't know if that was Lord Howe Island or a ship. So I looked on my map, and there was no known landmass there. You see this big beam here? Now this is a 24-hour feed, not a 48. You see that right there, that line? Well, you're going to see another one shoot down like that. This is ahead of time. Your mantle is vibrating like hell. You see that there, right over Alice Springs? Well, it went all the way from up here. And then they added electrics to the atmosphere, so the condensates of that beam are then exacerbated. But you see how the angle of that dangle comes in like that as the beam continues? That tells me that that jar network got active. That one was active. Exmouth fired. A ship fired. This came down. A beam came across it. You had a fucking major earthquake. And that's what I seen. I seen no fracking. I seen no mining. Destroying tunnels underground is unprovable. So, keep that in your QTAR green box. Because I can't use it as fact. Otherwise I can say, well, I've got a feeling. Yeah, well, save the only proof of a feeling is after you take a shit. But you see this down here, you're going to see a little curve show up. I'm going to make a noise. Bzz. See it? That's B. That also put pressure in the mantle that brought things along a line up towards your coast. Yep. And that's a ship. You have a lot of ships at sea capable of beaming you. Everything you see is not always HARP. HARP is really actually only one device, and it's right here. And watch what it did. Look at all the beaming up here. As Russia's firing this direction, USA's firing back at them with EMF. If there was an EMF war, this is what it's going to look like. And the weather will be the weapon. earthquakes, earth system, geoengineering, fires, winds, tornadoes, tidal waves, earthquakes, anything they want. And this week they want new smart roads. They want a railroad. They want smart cities with you in them. They want super data centers fueled by lots of wind farms so that they can spy on your ass and so if you're a good boy with the digital ID and all that stuff like that you've been fighting. It's going on. And even on that last image there, you're going to see 3 rays show up, almost like a rake. That's a new beam. You don't want to catch that one. I want to mark that. That's a new one. I bet I get a good shot of that here. Let's catch the last image here. And boom. Step. See that right there? That's more evidence of a beam pinning stuff. There is a ship there. There 100% is. That should show up real well on yours. High. There. Let's get it. Yep. Sometimes it's the last second shows it off. Ooh, beam. Beam. That would be Chinese ships. Is there a war going on we don't know about? Did you see the beam coming down the coast here? I said I wasn't going to cover the earthquake, but it looks like I'm going to. That's Yapoon. Quake happened about here. See where all these squares are meeting, these lines? Here. Man-made quakes are very real. I was going to do a separate video about this. But let's map the beams. Let's just mark. See where all the interference patterns match you. See, I'm just marking every beam I've got. I got a ship there. That's obvious. So, here, emanation points of the biggest beams, and where they've intersected is where the quake happened. Where did most of the beams intersect? Now you got the big ones out of the land here, right? What's going on? Mr. Squiggles could have fart. I'm just marking everything that went on. A big one went here. This was, I know there was a boxing one up here 2 days ago. Yeah, about 36 to 57 hours right in there is usually about the perturbation times. Big scalar square there. Another one here, look. See, another one out at sea, beamed in and around. Boy, is that bringing a lot of water through here. There's where your fucking rains are going. Right in here. It's going to get bad. It spelled out the path to me really well. Let me put a different color. Right in here. Or a different color. It's fucking black now. I mean, so much fucking red mist. No wonder it's coming through there. That's the only path of resistance left open is that. And worldview, as far as that went today, you couldn't get no more scalar looking out here, right? That big trapezoid looking thing. Yeah, that's just nasties, ain't it? Nestito bandito, I fry your skies. Fry you cadito, your garden is flooded, your weather is fucked. New England National Park has being touched. Oh no, what did I just say? These are Earth's precious parks, precious parks, precious parks. These are Earth's precious parks. Stop touching them! Don't touch Earth's precious park. That looked like her face of a Frankenstein. Yep, they opened the door, geoengineered the horse. Yep, look at that shit. Oh my, I'm going full Tourette's. This is about to get bad. I was in tears seeing what's coming. That's boom boom plumes right here. Boom, da boom, boom, boom. Got man-made or hurricane air and moving right along. Should be a Cat 3 by tomorrow. It looks like it's steaming right to North Carolina, and I'm going to watch it close. These ain't natural supercell round things. They're looking like a stop sign thrown on the ground, but nobody wants to stop, and damn sure nobody wants to look up. I think that movie, Don't Look Up, nailed it. Look at all that came out here. Oh, look at all the editing of your feed, because they're treating you like a bunch of children. You're not allowed to see the cam if somebody happened to screenshot ahead of time, because he's so fucking used to these censorship and bastards. Let's just look through some of my screenshots. I have no idea what you're about to be subject. Oh, yeah, that's definitely what I'm after. Yeah, these are just some of the unedited things. You know, when I get the image and they don't put the lines on them. This was one of the ones from this morning that I was looking at. And I got lots of these. It ain't going to stop. Let's see, which one do I want first? How about this one with the beams all drawn on it? Now, that's the one with them without them drawn. I'm going to go with that one. See if I can get that to open. Yeah, perfect. I was showing the beams from Alaska and how they came down and actually influenced the electric jet, or changed the cloud dynamics up the upper level cirrus clouds that you see there. That's some serious cloud dynamics, right? This line here will be the separation between two images. Disregard it. I'm only going for differences in plasmonics. And so here's a plasma difference. Here's a let me change colors here. Something less alarming. And black just seems, red seems so harsh, right? It just does. Like there's a difference here, right? You see that there? That's plasma differences in the clouds. See right there? That line difference? Draw it. It's big. It's hard. It comes all the way up through here. I can still see it affecting the clouds. Yeah, I actually go and look. That's the only place you can call HAARP, is where that dot is. You see that little line right there? Right there. It shows me the edge of a beam line. Okay, so I'm marked. I start there. I come right through all the clouds and look. As the line continued down, absolutely. You see the separation line here and here? That's that edge of that beam stretch, so I'll keep my line going down through here. So I know it's HAARP. See the gap right there? Keep your line going. Keep your line going. Keep following. I've followed an electric jet across the entire planet, well over the advertised range of this device. People don't think about the electric jet, the Earth, in its torus field of electrics from south to north. I know it looked like an S, but you know, I'm not super artist, I'm not Rembrandt. The torus field is a basic shape. Well, if I take and light that electrics up there, it's going to follow that tendril all the way to the other side. And if chem lines up on that line of magnetics, you end up with a thick wire of chem that then it goes plasmonic and it causes these effects. You see this right here? That's showing me another line is going up. And as I look at stuff like that, I know what's not a glitch. I know, because it affects the clouds, okay? Affects the clouds. Like a book. It's just simple. There is a device there helping. That's another part of HAARP that I'll have to explain. Thank you, Billy Hayes, for the blessing of you being in my life to teach me about HAARP. He installed him, the godfather of HAARP. God, I miss Billy. He taught me everything I know about HAARP pretty much. Well, set me on the path. Don't nobody ever put you on the path. That's a pulse from Russia. When they say that was a glitch, their pulse there is evidence of it. That's Russia firing back. We've been firing quite a bit of a HAARP. The Azores, right about here, has a big device. I've been seeing showing up. Yeah, this geoengineering of the weather here, to bring that in, can cause a wave to come down here and interfere with something that's causing an event here and cause an earthquake. You know, they don't know what it's going to do, but they're damn sure documenting how, and so am I, because I've been watching a long time, and so I come down here and have a good peek at you guys. That's not the best image to use for that. Yeah, this one might be better. Yeah, I did some zoom-ins, because they do have a tendency to hide things after I'm done with dots. So this is out in the Tasman Sea. I was looking at some of your EMF clusters out here. And you notice they don't have those little lines in them that show up when I come here. And that was pretty early this morning. I went over some of those. Horrendous, wasn't it? So when I go on it now and I go out there and I put on this asshole world view and I come out here in the Tasmaniac Sea and zoom in. Well, at least I didn't put all the lines on it now. Look at all the chem. Thousands and thousands and thousands of lines. Well, good. I was wrong, Justin. Over here, some of the shots I have ain't very clear. I like to admit when I'm wrong. You should try it sometimes. It keeps your integrity intact. But if I go long enough, you'll start to see them go blurrier as I go close in. And how come that's not fluffy white? Why has it got a green tint to it? Is the ice crystals absorbing different wavelengths of light and only the green ones escaping? Because that's how, you know, that works. There's the shadows of these plumes here telling me light's coming from that direction. Yeah, it's a bit of a basic thing to think of. Yeah, when you look for stuff, then this vapor's going that way, saying the wind's blowing that way over there, but it's vapor in that way over there. Ain't that interesting? How many directions? What the hell's going on that? Fishnets down there, some big thing. Catola jumping up. We're seeing some lizard scales. Don't go there, Roberts, behave. What the hell's going on out here? They burn a bonfire tonight? No, this is geoengineering with chemical catalysts in the sky, and the ice crystals that they make absorb different wavelengths of light based on their chemical properties. Because that's how that works. I paid a little bit of attention in science, Chris. Just a little bit. Did you? Or did you steal somebody's homework? You writing this down, Mr. Higgs? Mr. Shillage? How about you, Fizzler? Writing it down, Tim? How come you didn't get this wiring out? Well, you could thank all my followers who support my work for the ability of me to show you this Enter the Dragon out here. Look at that thing. You told me that's a natural looking thing? I told you, get out of here. Is it Chinese New Year or something? Somebody paid for a super advertisement? Look at it with a bear showing up. Is this a Russian storm? Geosculpting. That ain't natural. And normal is average. And well, the new normal is abnormal's brain. Boom, boom, boom go the plumes to make something like you're looking at there. It's just another puzzle piece for you to fit together in your brain for it to connect and accept. Just accept that there is a terrible evil. Because, my God, how anybody could be raised by anybody to think to do this kind of thing to my planet is beyond anything I can understand at all. These like devil horn cloud looking thing, and you zoom in on that and you see more cabin, more cabin, more cabin until in the naked light you saw no light. Because of the 10,000 chemtrails, maybe more, affecting these skies here. Who knows what's doing this? We all deserve an honest answer. All I know is accept what you're seeing. And let's do something about it. Because I'm positive, but we can make them stop. Look at our manure here. These are Earth's precious parks. Private parts. These are our private parks. Don't touch our private parks, right? Stop touching our private parks. They're spraying our private parks. And boy, are you about to get fucked. So I'm going to run through that now. I've showed you the totals, and I'll be continuing. I imagine I'm going to have quite a sleepless few days coming up. I got your backs. So the first thing I want everybody to look at right now, let's go to New Zealand, because they're under weather attack right at this moment. While you're loading your ARKS, you go time Australia to go get your supplies. Remember, How many? You can wipe your ass in falling raindrops, okay? Yeah, but you can't get your light back from rubbernecking and floating away. See, right up your wazoo there, right on schedule there, coming at about, oh, it's Saturday here. See, I lost a day almost. I'm trying to do how many hours from now this starts. Yeah, about 7, 8 hours from now, you're going to be fully in the grips of an absolute raging storm, Auckland area. Yeah. Why is it going to be flowing? Heavy flows. And then right up into the Bay of Plenty Chem. You're going to have plenty of rain right in. Fuck it, Johnny. Don't you love that? WHO, the foo. Yeah, exit the foo. Say foo to foo. Exit the foo. And then you get the backslide when the rains are coming back up that way, bringing the winds in the cold and the what the things that make your chesticles hard. Chesticles. Oh, I'm always going to call about short. I'm always going to call about from lying and dying. I won't be able to look my grandpa in the eye and then one day I'm dying. When I'm dying, I want to be able to look God in the eye, you know? I'm not scared of that part of things. Yeah, I can't go shake his head and go, damn, you went hard, boy. I'm surprised you didn't come sooner. I think they don't come sooner because hell thinks I'll take over. Oh gosh, look, there's a bit of winter weather coming there over to the spine of New Zealand over there. And Arthur's Pass is going to be a bit unpassable that day because the geoengineering passing of the gases made the passing of the passes hazardous. Yeah. Winter time is here. Lots of peanut songs in your ears. Don't you touch Earth's private parts. Don't touch the parts with your sky shards. Don't you touch Earth's private parts with your fucking big sky shards. Don't you touch our private parts with your big sky shards. Yep. Oh, stick the fucking vaccine up your ass. I'm in a mood. It was full on terrestrial. I was absolutely in tears having to get up the nerve to show you this stuff today. This is very difficult for me. And thank you everybody for your support. I was able to pay my rent, get my data paid, and now I just got to figure out how I'm going to eat. But I'm living, and I'm going to make sure you guys' supplies stay safe. Have you checked your supplies even to see if they're any good, especially your vinegared supplies? Because I'm very aware that the pH levels in a lot of the new vinegars are not high enough. I have to do a good job preserving. It's just winter. I'm seeing winter. That's as far as I'm going to take you because I got to go over here now. All right. And well, we'll start down here in Melbourne and Adelaide. Hey, a bit of winter coming up there to the Canberra High. Hey, you call that what the Alps down there, down this area, isn't it? And that would be like the Blue Mountains. Do I got that right? You guys correct me, because my local knowledge is as knowledgeable as I've been local. But my local knowledge is como loco nostro kind of a thing. That's not a bad thing to say, como loco nostro. Or some Spanish. Putas. Geoengineers es pendejos. Grande pendejos. Sus madres son putas. Yes. Es Bielgeza. Me chupa me huevos. Chupa me huevos, senor. Let me suck my eggs. Yeah. Ah, look, they're going to have to turn a radar on over here to get this to spin around it. Boy, is that going to pump that tropical air right down in there. Boy, is that going to be a hell of a move from the Burke radar. So that's where it's all going to start. That's going to be the culprit. Call Batman down. I have a feeling all you're going to get is an empty pole. Yep, sliding right on down that bat pole. It slides on the bat pole whenever it's told. It rubs the geolotion on its skin. It does this whenever it is told. Climate change! We're walking down a bridge asking for digital ID of everyone. You are. Your big march's solution is digital ID, digital currency. Yes, you don't realize it, but that's the first suggestion. Oh, look, the gong. Gong, get a little bit of a blast. They're coming on, looks like the afternoon hours of Tuesday, your time, on the 19th. Yeah, yeah, but a little winter dust in there in the back areas of cars, so, don't be putting some of your garden stuff out yet. Yeah, I don't think the spider plate's going to enjoy it too much. Oh, it's not going to do too good for some of the fruit that might be attempting to come to life. Here, that ain't nothing what the smack it is. Now, when this comes down from the tropics, is when the dynamics change, and that's where, well, if it was a game, you say, here comes the kickoff. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And from this is when you're getting the big totals are coming. This is where, and I'm very, very concerned. Very, very concerned. The big blue from the tropics takes a big dump on you. And as we get closer to the time, I'll be here. I don't care if it's 3 a.m. my time. I'll be on reading your radars and letting you guys know what's going on in case it's dark and you're worried. I'd rather ease and diss it. And I'd rather make sure you're prepared. I don't do fear porn. I do prepare. And porn, that's for idiots. It's for fantasy land. Yep. They're going for the waterfall area again. They're going for the minerals, and they're going for the junction of the smart railroad where they can send north and west. They're going for that. That's absolutely a Clara area. They're clearing out the area. Let's see which part gets fucked. And then they can burn their evidence of the geo out. Get rid of the chemicals on the soils. That's soaked in pretty easy if you set them on fire. So which park are they going to burn next? Hayden? A wash pool? Yeah, I have to have a look. I'm always curious what they want. They definitely want the highway. That's coming kind of obvious, isn't it? So when you're going home from some of your places, you're going to have to go past Maury in a bowl like this, travel-wise. The Vex bus is parked up, I'm happy to hear. Well done, lads and ladies. Well done. If you don't walk your truth, don't expect nobody to do it for you. It will. Next time we'll have somebody with a boat trailer everywhere you go to hook on the back of yours. Yeah. Yuck, 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 yuck. Oh, Snowy Hydro gets a little extra snow. I wonder how many totals of snow we got coming. That's the only thing I hadn't looked at is what is meltable, or what is there that might melt, right? They have to take that into factors, It don't look like much data coming there. Let's refresh that. Let's get rid of some of this. It's nothing huge. So most of that is coming as rain. So if it rains on some snow, guess what happens? Do you have to guess? They teach you the snow melts. Hey, that's a foot. Yeah, I'm in inches on the snow. 8 inches, 9 inches, ladies. Ladies. So that's telling me that most of yours is in as well is going to be rain is coming as rain, which is important to know because you got some dangerous times coming. I'm going to cover them, and I'll keep an eye on the cam. Like right now, what's off at sea is not the event. It's just some stuff that went out, right? Because I did have a peek. The only area of any kind of concern is this here. That's rocking in Adelaide now. So I'll have a quick peep at you guys. And I'm going to click off here and hang my head a little bit because this is really bothers me. That's a very dangerous front line that's coming right towards the Noarlunga Center. Lunga. Yeah, there's going to be some lungers coming down McLaren Vale, so they're coming for the wine. Yep, the wine is about to cop it. Oof. Yes, that's a very dangerous line. So batten down the hatches. Looks like you got about 40 minutes before it hits all those hills of the wine regions over there, McLaren Vale and Barossa Valleys area, batten down the hatches, because once these storms hit those open fields up there on the tops of those hills, it's really going to ionize next to that big tower thing that's on that big lollipop stick that's round, look like a broken umbrella. Yeah, that thing is ionizing like fuck. So I'm expecting the lightning to kick off and things to get quite rough after there for you. As far as the coming throughs go, it comes through fair fast. But the rain and stuff's going to hang out through about 24 hours before it goes. So that's what I got to tell you. That's what I got to show. And like, we all got to make sure we say no to this Paris Agreement. We say no to anybody even in front of us that suggests we need to do anything to send sunlight into space away from our precious trees and our precious water, which we love. And may beautiful, blessed water bless anything that's coming to Australia. May blessed water cleanse the minds of people who can't see this as a big geoengineering pulse, and who feel that bullying people who believe in things that they care about, that those kind of people are bad. And may beautiful, blessed water, they soothe us all. Big love. Stay safe. Peace. And harmonize with your harmonizers. Do not geoengineer, ever. Geoengineers, bad. Nature, good.